Hello everyone. Well, that was alright. 3 points for Celtic this afternoon. We're at the wonderful Babbity Bowster upstairs. Feel like it's ages since we've actually been here, Stevie. Would you agree with that?
I would say yeah, usually, but I mean, I just did one of these with you on Thursday, wasn't it? So, no, not really.
You're giving away the secrets. It was yesterday, of course, that we recorded it, because that's when it went out. I mean, I think we were all both chatting about the game being a bit of a... I don't know, a bit of a tester for Celtic, and we kind of passed the test with flying colours today.
Yeah, we did well. It was the right team, which was, I think you got criticised.
Got to hold the mic at your mouth, please.
There it is. There we go. There we go. No, we did all this testing and all that, didn't we?
Like, Stevie, you're going to talk loud, and then it starts.
Here I am.
Like that. All right, Hamish, how you doing?
Better watch that abuse, by the way, in the comments, mate. No, the manager chose the right team. Now, you get criticised because you get only 10 out of the 11 of the predicted lineup, didn't you? But yeah, the manager went with the right team. I was very happy and comfortable when we saw CCV and Taylor in that lineup. It made a huge difference to how we played as well. And that wasn't even Taylor at 100% fit as well, as we saw in the first half. But nah, I think that was a really difficult game. It's probably the hardest game we've got in this week ahead, when we've got Livingston to come and St Johnstone too. That was the hardest of all the matches, and we made it quite comfortable for ourselves in the end.
Yeah, I mean, the team will take absolutely nothing for granted, and I think they'll. I don't think they would have been looking at today as being the hardest game. I think that's something as supporters that we do. I think the team genuinely, maybe games against Rangers are maybe they look at them differently, I'd say, but I think certainly every other team in Scotland, whether it be Morton last week, Dundee United today, Livingston in midweek, I think the team is just all about ourselves, and if we play like that and create chances like that and have that intensity in our play, there's not really a team in Scotland that lives with us, and I think you saw that today. I mean, I thought we went in, well, we can talk about the team briefly. I know you mentioned it there. I think, as I say, 10 out of 11 I got right. Jota started and probably was the best performer. But I mean, just generally talking about that first half performance, it was goalless at the break, and I didn't sense, we were watching the game together, Lewis was there as well, and I don't think there was much panic at all between us at half time. And we've been in games in the past, and have a go at you sometimes, so I've been a wee bit panicky watching Celtic, and it's just because the team matters to you. But there was none of that today at all, even at 0-0, even after the controversy just before half-time that we'll probably spend a wee bit of time, fraction of time talking about. But I think that says a lot about how much faith we've got in this team, but also how well they played in that first half. And it was just maybe final pass, final shot, execution, etc., meaning that we didn't go in ahead.
Yeah, and it's, again, you're talking about faith too. It's a lot of that in the manager as well. But you always knew that, if Joe Hart had a lot of... Amazingly enough, in the 9-0 game, Joe Hart had more to do in a tight 2-0 game there. It was strange, but, if Joe Hart was making save after save and the defence were under the caution, they were getting a lot of set pieces and they were in the half a lot, get into that first half, get into the second half at 0-0, probably been a bit more edgy, but we controlled that. I felt, Jota started that so early, looked so confident in the early stages, didn't he? Kyogo's off the ball movement was exceptional too.
He had a chance after 30 seconds.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
A great Jota ball.
It was. Jota was just excellent, and him starting on the left. I know that it was 50-50 between him and Dyson, who's been in brilliant form, Hamish, but you know why. Jota, we've always said, on his days, the best player to watch in the league, and he was exceptional today. But no, even though it was 0-0 at half time, still felt that we were playing good football, we were in control, we were dominant, we were winning all the 50-50s, and Dundee United set up so that they were trying to get physical with us, especially midfield, and we never went down to their level. We just played our football and played the way we're capable of, spread it across the park very well, and our defence and Joe Hart had very little to do. So even though we went in 0-0 at half time, I felt in the second half there's no way United could have kept it up. They are, you said in the last video we did, they're in a bit of a false position, and I can see that to an extent, but I also did say to you, they didn't really create much, they had nothing up top, and I really didn't see them getting any joy in the second half, and we came out flying and we got the 2 quick goals that we needed. But yeah, that's to summarise that first half, I guess.
Yeah, we could probably touch on a few things there, because you covered a lot there. I mean, Jota's probably the obvious place to start. I think it's the one thing you would say since the World Cup that Celtic have been brilliant, and Jota's just not quite been at that top level. And I know, injuries, and I think, being ill kept him out of some games. So it's not really his fault to an extent, and I think Maida's played so well that Ange maybe has felt that he hasn't had to bring Jota in as quickly as he may have had Maida not been in such good form. But I thought Jota was brilliant today. It was his best performance in a good while from the first minute. I mean, we talk about that Kyogo chance. That is effectively created by Jota playing this lovely pass through to him that everyone could kind of see and kind of knew what he was going to do, but he pulled it off. The weight was perfect on it, and he had another run, I think, early on in the game when he kind of nutmegged or certainly put the ball round the right back Freeman,
who left, yeah.
I think was trying to be really aggressive today. He was really trying to leave the boot in, and a number of our players on a separate point, going to the handball. He was already on a booking at that stage. I think he could probably have seen another yellow for that, and United could have been down to 10 men before half time. But anyway, Jota, was excellent. As I say, he had runs, he was putting crosses in, and it's him that gets the goal just after half time, actually.
We're talking about the second half now. We're just going to dingy that part at the end of it,
yeah.
Right, okay. I mean, if you really want to do that, fine. Because I'm sick and tired of talking about that.
You touch on it quickly then. I think we were both chatting coming on, and I don't know what you're all thinking, but I feel like after a performance like that from Celtic and a really, good result, I'm kind of sick fed up of chatting about it, spending ages talking about it. I think briefly I could maybe... Right, why don't we do this? I'll set a stopwatch going, and we can have 1 minute to just give our thoughts on it. And when the minute ends... I'm kind of worried what my timer...
Do you know how to work a phone now?
I'm worried what my timer music is now. It's nothing offensive, is it? We'll soon find out. Right, that's the minute started, Stevie. Give us it.
Yeah, I thought it was a penalty. Personally, I do. It's a bit... As soon as there was any sort of doubt about it, and as soon as he went over to the screen, we just all said to each other that it isn't going to be a penalty. I felt, he takes Kyogo out first and then the ball.
It's like what you can do. Surely, if the rules are you get as long as you get the ball, I could get the ball right now and just forearm smash you, and that'd be fine.
Well, people would actually like to see that, Hamish, a bit. No, I
don't got a ball.
I get what you're saying, but we did say as well after it was never going to be given, and I think even the reaction amongst ourselves was we weren't feeling all sorry for ourselves and going, oh well, that's it, let's go in the half. We just went second half, we'll just have to take our chances, and that's what the team did. Their attitude was excellent after that, so it was.
I think that's the big thing, and that's kind of why I don't want to spend ages talking about it, because it was frustrating, and I think not
long now.
I think even we've got about 4 seconds left. I think even when we get the penalty for the handball, we've got question marks over whether it's going to be given.
That wasn't offensive, just very loud.
Yeah, I think even when we got the handball, the thing that sums it up is we saw the handball and our reaction wasn't right, we're getting a penalty here. Our reaction was, imagine they didn't give it, because it was quite similar to the Hearts one. But anyway, our minute's over. Let's go back to Celtic. Jota, just talk about his performance today in that first goal.
Well, he anticipated it really well, but Aaron Moy was fantastic for it. And what's great is John McGinley from the Wonderful Channel actually said that goalie has got a howler in him and we have to spook him. And we did. He predicted it, shall we say.
Yeah.
But he
it
knew
really
that
was a huge, a huge contribution from the Australian in that opening goal, and I'm not talking about Moy.
Every game against Dundee United now this season, their goalie has sold the jerseys, hasn't he? Yeah. It was a different goal. It wasn't Borghetti for the 9-0 game, was it?
No, but Borghetti played at Celtic Park, I think, and had
it
a howler
was terrible for
Haksabanovic.
Yep. And then today, he misjudges that cross, but as well, Aaron Moy, the persistence he showed and the accuracy of that cross was amazing. And Jota was, he anticipated it so well, and we got to go, I think, at a really good time, because it had to be in the first sort of 5-10 minutes in that second half, because Dundee United will get so much confidence for that, first half performance, keeping us out, and then of course the penalty shout too. They would have been so buoyed for that, and it was important we got that goal. I think after we scored for that, you knew that they weren't coming back into it at all. It was just pretty much our game after then, Hamish. But that was what Jota deserved. He was brilliant all game, and it was great to see him on the score sheet. I think he scored against Kilmarnock as well a couple of weeks ago, so he's back in amongst the goals again.
Trying to remember that goal against Kilmarnock now.
The one Dyson put it across and they slid in at the front post to make it 1-0.
Yeah, it was an untidy goal.
Yeah, it was minging, but anticipated it well.
Can you remember a more bizarre Celtic goal than that first one today? We had one in the first half as well that I think it might have been Jota himself or Greg Taylor put across and it hit the post, didn't it?
It did. Then Moy had the follow.
Yeah, so
Moy had the follow.
Kind of similar
sort of
to that,
again.
I think it says a lot about the keeper.
Yeah,
that
keeper's just
didn't
nowhere.
have a clue where the ball was, but it was a bizarre goal, but a great place to start. And then maybe 5 minutes later, we get the penalty for the second goal. It's a complete stonewaller.
Picked myself up off the floor, obviously. I was shocked we got it.
Or so you would think, and it's given, and you've just got no doubt about Aaron Moy. Everyone's talking about Aaron Moy's, kind of performances from open play, and I think that's fair enough. But I think he brings us a lot from dead balls as well, and penalties. He looks so assured. I mean, I don't want to jinx him, especially when we've got a cup final coming up and we might need penalties. You never know. But he looks so assured. I think he's kind of put the keeper the wrong way for every penalty so far, and it's almost like you see the really, really top players doing. And Moy, as a top player, waits for the keeper to move and then slots it away. And I think Birighetti was giving him a bit of this as well.
I couldn't understand him trying to play mind games with Moy. See, if you're a keeper that's just had an absolute howler there, the last thing you're doing is trying to
you must know Moy as well.
You're trying to sort of put off Moy by doing something like that. Focus on yourself, not the other player. Moy just made him look like a complete idiot. But yeah, it was such a well taken penalty. I think that's his third penalty now for Celtic. Is that right?
Yes, I think he had one against Morton, one against
Hibs
as well, and one today. I think he's 4 goals in total. No, 5 goals in total.
5 now.
That's a decent tally. I mean, he took him a while to get that first goal, but
6 assists now as well.
How do you know that?
Because Sky Sports said to get 5 before the game.
Whose goal did he set? The first one. Excellent. Corners as well. He's great in corners. I mean, again, I think that's something that we haven't had for a while. I know Turnbull swings in the odd corner, but he's not really playing full matches at the moment. But Moy really does have good deliveries going into the box. I think it's a matter of time before we score another one from a set piece. I know we scored against Kelly at Hampden. After that, I mean, I think there was a lot to be positive about today. I think our play was excellent. Hatate was brilliant. I thought Callum McGregor, for me, was a standout again. He was just brilliant. Jota, as we say, Kyogo was lively. My one criticism probably would be that after getting that second goal and having, I think, over half an hour left, we didn't find, at least a third goal. And it's not as if we didn't miss chances. I mean, the Maida one right at the end is a big one. I think that's my one frustration. And I guess it's just me being very, very picky and very, very hard to please, but maybe just would have liked another goal.
High standards as well from and that's what this team have set. I felt Alistair Johnston was excellent today, especially in the first half when it got really physical. He gets stuck in, he was excellent, and also I saw the positions he was taking up, the way that he slotted into that system. I remember last season Taylor and Juranovic, like the game that I would say showcased Angie's style and his tactics, the way that the inverted fullbacks play was that much. We won 3-0 against Dundee United, and Taylor and Juranovic that game were exceptional. But here, the way the positions that AJ was taking up, man, was outstanding.
He's kind of everywhere, isn't he?
He is, and just he doesn't let himself get bullied. It seems like he also enjoys the physical battle at times as well. He was excellent today, and also Starfelt and CCV.
5 clean sheets in a row.
Yep, Starfelt and CCV are the first choice centre half pairing, aren't they? And that show, and they were just steady, building for the back as well. But then I know that it's easy to say that when they had virtually no opposition as well.
There's one moment in the whole game, the one when they kind of from the kick where it went all the way through, and Joe Hart actually did very well.
Yeah, he read it well.
Line. But other than that, I don't think we were threatened at all. I mean, Stephen Fletcher maybe had a shot after it went 2-0 that was straight at Hart. I think there was a header in the first half as well that he kind of put over the bar, but never really threatened us. And I think when you're going to Tannadice, that's kind of all you can ask for. You're not going to win 9-0 every time you go to Tannadice. We've been there in the past and we've had defeats there. We've had really, really tough, you think of Jackie McNamara's team, and even, last season at times, the one when we won the league, it's a really tough place to go when the crowd get up there. I think it's a really, really tough place, one of the toughest places in the league, and we just didn't allow them at all. I think from the first minute we were dominant. They couldn't really get out at all, and I think that's just, it's great to see. Subs wise, we made a few. Maida was one of them. I thought he looked lively, should have got his goal from a quite brilliant cross from our new man who came on, and it's very early days, and I'm absolutely 100%, 1,000,000% not going to make any sweeping statements from 10-15 minutes worth of coming on, but that guy's going to win the Ballon d'Or one day. I mean, he is unbelievable. See the way he backs in, he's got the pace in behind, he's a poacher, so we hear, but he's also wide right and putting in crosses like that. I mean, I know he's not left the club yet, but I'm gonna start it already. Giakoumakis doesn't do that. He doesn't pull out onto the right wing and put in a cross like that.
Yes, well, thanks for nabbing my observation there, Hamish. Yes, at the end of the game. No, he doesn't. Oh, really does look the part, and you're right. It's all right to come on and, against Dundee United when you're winning and, make it look easy and stand out and everything, right? But it was his touch that really impressed me. It was. He really, I mean, the way that he was holding the ball up and the way that he started moves, the way it was breaking away for the Dundee United players, he just, he looks so physical, and it doesn't look as if, like, coming all the way from there to Scottish football, the first thing you're always told is how physical it's going to be and will they be able to adapt. This might get trimmed at some point and I'm going to end up looking like an idiot. Shocker, right? But I think he's going to slot in very well here. That ball that he put in was just perfect. It really should have been 3. But I reckon with more game time, you're going to see him not only contributing with goals, but he's going to be such a vital team player as well. He just looks like he's going to be right up for the battle. And
he looks like he's got personality as well, which is so important. At full time, he's giving it all this. He had a big smile on his face as well. The thing I love about him, right, he's a big guy. We noticed that when we saw him on whatever day it was, Thursday. He gets about. The thing I love is the first thing he did, and we heard about this in all the scout stuff, you can watch the video, etc. He gets tight to players, he gets a hold of their shirt, and he's getting involved, and I really like that. It'd be easy again to come on and just to feel your way into it, but the first thing he did, I think, was he got tight to whatever defender it was and rolled him. And I mean, Don Robertson gives a free kick to Dundee United when it is never a free kick. The defender just falls over. I don't know.
Are you sure? Are you sure you were watching the right game?
Staggering into it, but I really liked him, and we've absolutely gone overboard for 10 minutes worth. But I think you're right. I think he's going to fit in really well. I just the thing with a striker is always I hope he gets his first goal early. I think we'll see him on Wednesday night. He won't start the game, but I think if we're hopefully at least a couple of goals up on Livingston, I think you might see him for maybe 20 minutes rather than 10 minutes, and it would be amazing if he could get his goal maybe over the next week, over Livingston or St Johnstone next Sunday, because it's, as much as that's all great, it's the goal you want to see. But I mean, you hit the nail bang in the head, whatever the saying is. What's the saying?
Hit the nail in the head, Hamish.
Yeah, well, I'll go with nail in the bang of the head. He's going to fit in. He's going to fit in really well. He's a perfect fit for the style of football we want to play.
I also just feel if he doesn't get that goal, there shouldn't be any panicking, because look at GG too. Took him a long while before he got his first goal.
But I mean, like when Giakoumakis came in, he kind of had a similar thing to in terms of, like, he hadn't played in a while and he looked miles off it. I thought looked
very sharp,
right on it. I mean, if you'd have said his last game for the Blue Wings was a week ago or 4 days ago, you wouldn't kind of bat an eyelid. I thought he looked right on it. Right, can we cut the old chat because we've probably spent far too long. Anyone else you want to pick out for today? We've kind of worked our way through the team.
No, I mean, AJ was the one I wanted to talk about, but no, other than that, and you already mentioned Callum McGregor, who was fantastic today as well. Yeah, I mean, 400 games now for Celtic, hopefully many more for Callum McGregor, and we're how many games into the season now? 23? That was match day 23, yes.
Right, so
15 to go, you said?
Well, that would be 38 minus 23 would be 15, and we've got a chance to tick off 2 more over the next week. We've got Livingston on Wednesday night. I think that's going to be a stuffy game. They drew with Hearts 0-0 today. St Johnstone next Sunday. They're not in great form, but they do have a pitch that isn't in great nick, so that could be a bit of a slog as well.
Neither's ours.
Well, true. We don't really have a leg to stand on with regards to that, but a real chance over the next kind of couple of matches to get 2 more wins under our belt, and by that stage you'll be on, quick maths, 25 games played, and you're kind of only a handful of games away for the split. I mean, the matches are kind of going to run out for our rivals pretty soon if we can just keep winning. I mean, how many wins in a row have we had? Or certainly, I think we've probably had like maybe 10 or 11 wins out of our last 12 matches. It's great form.
It is, and it's a testament as well just to the attitude of that team since the new year. I mean, as I said, it's like second half today, honestly, they really could have felt sorry for themselves when they didn't get that decision and played within themselves, because we've seen it before with other Celtic teams when that happens. But Ange would have went through. I mean, I don't think he would have went through them. He would have just said, keep playing the way you're playing and they won't be able to live with you. And their attitude and their professionalism was absolutely spot on today, Hamish, and I think they'll keep it that way for the rest of the games this week and the season ahead. It's the minimum though, isn't it?
It's just what we've come to expect. I just love this team. I just absolutely love everything about them. They've just got so much personality. They're such a likeable team. You're watching the scenes at full time, and I know we do it virtually every match, but the camera kind of zoomed in and numerous fans' faces, in the away end at Tannadice today, and there was just massive smiles on everyone's faces, and it's just how I think we all feel. We were all smiling watching the game. We weren't smiling at 44 minutes after that VAR decision, but other than that, it's just a joy to watch them. Jota, Hatate, Kyogo, when they're playing like that, and it's a joy to see them after the game as well, because they're such a close-knit bunch, and I'm just so excited for the rest of the season. I just think there's just so much to be gained. I mean, there's 3 trophies there for us if we want them, and I think this team really does want them. So that's how I'll finish. Stevie, you want the last say?
I think the last say for me would be you've known me for probably too long, Hamish.
Far too
and
long.
I would agree that this team are just so likeable. One of my favourite Celtic teams ever. But in the past, there's always been a couple of players I've always sort of just criticised heavily, shall we say. But in this Celtic team, I very rarely do. They're a real solid unit, led by a proper manager, and I hope it's going to be this way for some years to come, but got to enjoy it now, because it's not going to be this way forever, is it?
Yeah, it won't, and we'll just not get ahead of ourselves, and the team isn't going to get ahead of themselves. And we are going to head off, though. We have been upstairs at Babidi Bowster today. A big thanks to them once again for having us in. The kitchen staff are over there doing a fine job. You can probably hear plates getting clattered as they serve their fine food in here that we might have a wee bit of after this video, but that's a off-air discussion. Right, we're going to head. I'll be back tomorrow. If you've got any thoughts on the game, any interesting points, I will try and tackle them in tomorrow's video along with the rest of the stuff. So yeah, speak to you then.